Hello everyone and welcome back to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. When we last left off, we had continued with Turnabout Big Top and we're in the, just started the second part of the trial. We're about to call up our first witness. So let's go out and call the first witness to the stand, whoever it may be. Time to get to work. Or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Hello, Acro. Name and occupation. Ken Dealing, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the very big circus. Very was the night was a crime. I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room. Oh, goddamn. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crimes, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. What I, the great Acro, witnessed. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump outside from the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, then there's very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the skies that night. Before we actually get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Thank you. Foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Montgomery, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, we may proceed with our cross-examination. I guess. Like, why the hell are we still even here? Flying is not even possible. Like, why the hell are we still here? You said that you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct, but there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? I never really thought of that. I guess that means I want to buy some curtains. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. On the odd occasion. I know I'm an old man, but I'm good at some things. Really, Your Honor? No, okay, maybe not. It was the first time in about 20 years I've been useful. Well done, Your Honor. I'm proud of you for acknowledging that fact. We're all proud of you, Your Honor. No! The witness will proceed with his testimony. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside. I was indeed. Pressing a crow doesn't seem to get results. But maybe something was contradictory in what he just said just now. There is a contradiction. Just go with it. There is a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? I have actually forgotten what we were just talking about. What were you just talking about? I actually have no idea. What were you just talking about? Let's just present the broken bottle, because... What is this? Ow! You just don't get into it, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What don't I get? You'll not go to be able to get to this one with just your usual bluff routine. Your client looks to be ready to take off once again, so it was a guilty verdict. You are bluffing? I will not forgive my mockeries right to this court. Whoops. Witness, would you mind repeating your testimony? Certainly. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You had no need to mince words, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to us as truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you as that night. I believe it was human. Damn it, I just strengthened his testimony. And after I was stigmatized with the facts.
Objection!
Prove it with evidence, blah 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 blah. Where's the bust?
Take that!
Bust. Really? Rather interesting, but there you go. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So, with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by a window. The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside the window. It was a person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Hello, Vixen. Did you see any other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced the person I saw was Max Galactica. More impressive than last results I seem to get, but maybe there was something off fishy with his latest bit of testimony. What's all of it? Nothing, Your Honor, until I can find a clear contradiction. I better not overdo it. Hello. What's, dot. Why are we dotting? I don't like it when you dot. Puts me on edge.
Hold it!
When did you start thinking what you saw was a dream? That's not important. I believe the prosecution has done a bit of maintenance on the witness's memory. Witness. Ow! Objection! Sustained. Don't sustain that! That must be lying about what he saw, right? Of course he is. Our challenge will be able to expose his lies in court. Well, the pedal to metal, Nick. Ah, again? You have a bit of trouble with sending messages sometimes, don't you? Which is weird. I'm struggling already. It's not great when I'm already struggling. I don't want to. I didn't press that! Nothing wrong. Vixen, stop. That hurts, Vixen. So what happened? Honestly, nothing. we just started Acro's testimony, which was just after 10 p.m. It was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard the large thump noise outside the window. Then a few minutes later, I saw someone flying around outside my window. It's Max Electia. I only saw him from behind, but that's what he looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. That is honestly all that's happened so far, and already I'm stuck. Which, quite frankly, is not great, really, is it? Oh, hang on. The Silk Hats. Can you heat the thump on 4-4? I hear. Well, no, not that one. It's the one where, yeah, most likely, but is it this one? So there is a contradiction. Apparently it's supposed to present the Silk Hat. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot. It's cause the hat was left at the crime scene. What do you mean? The Silk Hat? What about the Silk Hat? I saw him on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down at your window that night. Well, that would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame because you wouldn't have noticed the Silk Hat found at the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's Silk Hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats? No. This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand! Seriously, it was literally just... Okay. Order! Order! Look at that bird watcher. Yeah. Bit weird if I'm being honest, I have to say. All the birds and everything, quite frankly, kind of weird, but there you go. But, okay. As always, it looks like someone had just opened their mouth before you thinking, you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now they have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? Acro is the real cult. No. He has a grudge against Max. No. As far as I can tell, he doesn't have a grudge against Max. Acro isn't dreaming. The only other logical explanation is that Acro is the real culprit. Because Acro doesn't have a grudge against Max, he has a grudge against Regina. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. Acro the mother. I feel like, I can't remember what the character's name is. There's a Scottish detective TV show, right? And I can't remember what the detective's called, but he says that a lot. I got the mother. There is no motive. There is, if I'm being honest. Because I have a feeling Acro... You said yesterday that Acro wanted to kill Regina but killed the Ringmaster instead. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think Acro wanted to kill the Ringmaster to make Regina suffer. She doesn't have her dad, she gets upset, she suffers. Same with Acro. Acro doesn't have his brother in a coma. Acro is suffering. You know? I think it's not necessarily against the Ringmaster necessarily. It's more to do with Regina, but the Ringmaster played a big part in it, if that made sense. That is also true. That is also true. I mean, Acro, the Ringmaster is the one that took Acro on and adopted him. But there you go. I guess we'll find out, really. What evening? Oh, I see we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russellberry. Right, Vixen, you're gonna have to go because my legs are becoming dead and pins and needles and everything, and I need to stretch out. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think our tips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at the audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to as a cloud is mocking me. This is the oldest fluff in the book. Buy 1 kilogram O2 gas canister. Gas tanker. It's too good for relaxing. True. Excellent. No. Oh, and pins and needles, man. Oh. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He's staying rather conflicted. Mr. Dunling, do you have any response to defense's accusations? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That is true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of murder, of all things. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear that the accusation is ludicrous. I just want to know why the trial be held with a murder weapon investigation not clear. That is true. That is still true. Even now, the murder weapon still hasn't been made clear. She's right. Why did you pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man? Phoenix is a poopy head! Ew! like a 6-year-old. Phoenix Wright is a poopy head. Ew. Oh, I love this game sometimes. Me and this game is literally like a love-hate relationship. It really is. It's Jamaica. It's Jamaica. That is true. In Jamaica. It's not Japan. It's not America. It's Jamaica. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this game. I got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand on his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to cancel this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro is an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Of course he did. It's impossible for Acro to be murdered in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider the possibility of possible accomplices. But the monkey! The monkey! Surely! You don't say. Not good, not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're... Oh, serious? No, Vixen! Oh my goodness. My cats just won't leave me alone! Well, what? You must not have heard that sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. The sound of you falling into your own trap can be hard to notice sometimes. That's right. It seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro. But all making other accusations. If Acro did not have an accomplice, things are not looking good for you. I understand, Your Honor. Very well, let's continue. Who perchance would happen to be Acro's accomplice? Why not the monkey? I can't think of anyone else. Ben, no. Regina, no. Mo, no. Bat in hospital. Monkey's the only logical explanation I can have. Take that! You don't say. Uh-oh, this is suddenly looking very, very bad. Don't tell me you think you're getting off easy. What? Oh, did you hear that? Hear what? The sound of you getting caught in your own trap. But a splendid accomplice. I'm sure this accusation is... Actually, monkey just brings... Well, this is it. This is what I'm thinking, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. The monkey brings goods to monkey back to the lodging, right? And then... What I'm thinking is, depending on what, because we still don't know what the murder weapon is, right? So it might not actually be the bust. So, if the murder weapon is something light enough for the monkey to grab, monkey takes it back to the lodging, gives it to Acro. Acro then obviously can't move much, can't move from his lodging, right? So Acro then opens up his window, pushes it over the ledge. Monkey goes out, grabs the murder weapon, brings it back to the lodging. No one's any of the wiser. Because it could be the bust, it might not be the bust. We don't know yet. I can't. Acro had to have had an accomplice. So, what to say? Yeah. Foundation? Yes, Master Wright. Do you have any proof that the person you accused was indeed the culprit? Oh, great. I was thinking the worst.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
This piece of evidence is lacking persuasive power.
You didn't miss the sound, did you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You know, the sound of you receiving a penalty.
Ah!
What are you doing, Nick? We're back here! Ah, fine, we'll say no he didn't. Now, since this must be when you hear his name as the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Miss Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one.
What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright?
There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Say finally. Hey, Look, I was trying something, right? Oh, I really want to sneeze. Oh, bless me! Woo!
What are you getting at?
Because Acro, not animal tamer, okay? No, Acro, no, I know Acro is the animal tamer, but the monkey... I don't know, the monkey has to have something, monkey's something to do with Acro though. Monkeys, batty conkers. No. No! Bat is in hospital. We'll keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm gonna have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it! Mr. Phoenix Wright, is this witness is the killer? Sending his eyewitness account is all lies, correct?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, where exactly was Mr. Dingling?
In his room, of course. He was obviously here the entire time.
That's Acro's room.
Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house all by himself. In that case, there can only be one answer, one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster! What? Are you nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingling?
It's an interesting theory. That's it. Considering that what you proposed is impossible. Yes, that's it.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he's in a wheelchair, there's no way he could go to the scene or be a killer.
You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Acro voice is clear, you know, young and not dying. No, I get that, but I feel like he's... Oh, you know how you would have like a stereotypical monk? You know, like a stereotypical peace and serenity. Today we will work on the mind. I feel like he has that kind of voice. I don't know why, but that's Yeah, like, you know, the stereotypical monk. You know. Does that make sense? That's true. Well, said he saw Max, didn't he? But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Ryder? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Mick. Can you mess up here? She's right, I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster, and he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it.
Don't enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright.
I don't think I have any evidence. I don't think. I think we'll fairly be graced with an explanation. Don't push him on, Karma. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna suck me this time. I'm smart enough to know when I don't have the cards to play my hands sucks right now. What do you mean, Mr. Wright?
He means that everything he said up until now has been nonsense. It's too late if you can't establish proof of your murder series nonsense. He's trying to fool us into misdirection game. Yeah, so I do, but...
Present evidence. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against?
Surely it has to be the monkey now. Oh! I thought it said how did Mr. Dingling. Not what did Mr. Dingling use. Okay. I was like, well, I don't have a picture of a window, so... But, okay.
What's that? A picture?
It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust?
It's quite a large bust, and it's also, because it's life-size, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah! See? This is how Acro is able to kill the ringmaster. The force of gravity of Maximilian Galactic's ample bust.
Order! Order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. If you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro's an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like a bust.
Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows I'm getting closer to the truth. Well, Acro, you can't run away this time. Ow! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honour, the physical health of the witnesses material to this case. I meant it demands that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say?
Von Carver. He's not just using his testimony as a ruse to stall the time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense's objection is overruled.
Why can't he see my things? How can I see things my way once in a while? So the cloak stuck to the bust, so it's look like full-fledged person, but it's ridiculous. The only issue is, okay, I see where it's coming from. It's trying to say that somehow, magically, the hat, the cloak, and the white roses somehow stuck to the bust to make it look like Max Galactica. Woohoo. Big whoop. Question. Still stands. How does it float back up?
Sorry, but we need you to testify about her physical condition. If you have any doubts about her ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
Rope. I don't have any rope, though. I don't have rope. The witness will have no more problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Can you give me a second? I'm going to go grab a blanket. I'm freezing right now. I don't know what it was, but England had like a couple of days of absolute beautiful heat. And then yesterday, it was actually snowing. In April. It was beautiful and warm like a couple of days ago. Like, oh, it was so beautiful and warm. It was like 20 degrees Celsius, something like that. And then yesterday, snow. Like, how? Mother Nature's just going like, nah, you know what? We're gonna be bipolar for a bit. We're gonna have complete opposites. We're gonna have really, really nice warmth to then really, really just pure cold. And just, yeah, it honestly so cold, it's unbelievable. But we good, we have the blanket, so we happy now. Hang on, it's just, there we go. Oh, there we go. We all good. Right, let's carry on. Now we're all fixed. Oh god, push my hair back. There we go. Thank you. Ah! That woman will sink it to any load to win a case. Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible, as they hear cloudy, about 25 degrees C, but today is hot, man. You're lucky though. You live in a hot country, Like, damn, you are lucky. Seriously, Vixen? Seriously. You would do anything to get in my way, won't you? You're lucky. You live in Indonesia though. Like, I've always wanted to visit Indonesia. It honestly looks like such a beautiful place. And so warm as well. You good now? You wanna get snuggled up? There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. I'll continue to drink a lot of hot water. That is true. That is actually very true. But then again, I like water. I like water in drinks, so. And I always like stick my drinks in the fridge, so that, I don't know what it is, but the colder the drink, the less thirsty I become, if that makes sense. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think?
I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out that far enough to luck, and not to mention that he could not have known the location of the Springmaster's head. who need to look outside window just told us. True, a single false step would have led to even more severe injuries.
That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright?
I'd still like to proceed with the cross-examination, please. He's simply startling. It's shameful, really.
Grrr.
Can't let it get to me. I've got to focus. See, but you would think that.
Hold it!
Have you ever lifted up the bus before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. But I should get to do it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? Ugh, the crazy monkeys lifted Max's bus before. Ah! Ah! Ha ha ha! See, I was right. The location the ringmaster head is in top of the box. I guess.
Please continue your testimony, Mr. Dingling.
Hold it!
So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean, Nick. Whoa, whoa, whoa! How did the discussion turn on me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. Kinda like Yogi. I'm Yogi Bear, and it's time to it's time to take a picnic basket, boo-boo. I'm smaller than the average bear. It's time to take a picnic basket, boo-boo.
Hold it!
And why is that? Because if I was to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't got much feeling back in my legs yet.
So you couldn't have thrown out that bust out of the window.
Hold it!
How long do you think your recovery would take? I do remember that my nose was severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intense rehabilitation. But it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you another very important point. If Sir Witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Master's head. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accepted if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there is no way I would know the location of Ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you have a point. Hey, Nick! Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it all like this. If he knew the location of the Ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. If only could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of Ringmaster's head without looking down. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Goddamn. It's gonna be one of two things. It's either gonna be the crime scene photo, or it's going to be the box.
Objection!
Okay, so there's a crime scene photo. Because the idea of the box is, if Acro heard the box, he would have been able to use like proxemics and things like that of how far away he might have heard the box and things like that to understand roughly where the ringmaster is. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out the window, did you? Probably. What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of the time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, may I add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. But I did such a good job hunting.
Yes, I've been expecting this, right?
None of the boxes it was planted there before he gave Gina the note. Oh. Maybe we should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here?
Honestly,
Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means, of course, this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime.
I admit that doesn't make some sense.
The moment the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean,
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out on the box,
there'd be no way that it could miss the victim, the head of the victim? No!
Order! This is unbelievable!
Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go from here. Forward.
So then, the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box on the scene?
It was Mr. Dinling, of course. He connected it to a rope and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip this sense into you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow! 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 So the mister's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed, it had the most peculiar feature. The weight. The box had remarkable weight. Weight, according to the quarter, could have weighed 20 pounds. To lift up this wooden box would have required.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. One would have to squat down and lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say?
That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large.
The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it?
That's correct. And to lift the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool! Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? Do you want to go out, Vixen? You look like you want to go out. Yeah, you're poking at the door. You want to pop on out then.
There we go.
I've heard what you have to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills.
You did do it? Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza?
Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust?
I remember. Of course I remember. He was on the top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it?
I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I'd like you to... I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? Now we present Money the Monkey. Now. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright explains that. Don't forget. God, I'm getting my cat hair all in my mouth. Don't forget, who said there was no kindness? Ah! Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria.
Yep, we definitely have a problem here.
This is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all.
Alright, Mr. Wright, let's do your explanation. How did I get from the bust from the cafeteria back to his room?
Take that!
A monkey? Everyone knows
Funny, he loves shiny objects of any size.
Oh, yes, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring.
So, you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust?
Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it.
The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home.
Who?
Money lives in Acro's room.
Acro's room?
But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Objection!
Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record.
My, those some very nice cards he's holding.
Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gah! Acro! Mine is a strong monkey, right? Be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'll be on the market for a new roommate.
Order! Order! I said order! Miss Von Karma, where is a busted question at this moment?
I don't know. I'm searching for it as we speak.
Is this a rather strange turn of events? Okay, well let's say that a monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then?
Well, in that event, something else would have been used as a murder weapon. Wait. You mean this bust was the murder accident purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought she's one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer! Moron!
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular and still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that.
Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You have forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magician magical client was spotted as the scene of this crime. Ah! There's no reason to doubt the client's testimony.
That's true. I'll do respond to that, Mr. Wright.
Nick, let her beat you down now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there are two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. As this isn't only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? I'm assuming it'd be Ghost. Surely, it has to be. Yeah. He saw Max's butt. Ow! I asked who the other person most saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. En contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette, but he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw.
How is that possible?
It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw was that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? I haven't even tried using a brain at all in this case. The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang off the guards in the bust's hands. Idiot, who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust.
Just wait a minute, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance in this case. Don't you agree?
Hello, DHD. Don't caught me.
So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust?
Take that!
Surely, I wonder, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? Oh, of course. I'm an idiot. It's a famous Von Comic item whip approach.
Take that!
Seriously? $12.41. I can't remember where I left off. I'm doing it just in case. Oh, here. Oh, yeah.
Take that!
Who is the murderer of the clown saw? Blah, 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 blah.
Objection! Objection!
It's saving content. That's good. The question is the most important door you go bang. I'm stuck. Regina? Russell. was Russell. I just thought it was Russell because he's the one who had the cloak. Fool! Him!
You are saying it was a victim himself? Russell Berry?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's the victim himself. Placed the cloak on the bust. Placed the cloak is really the right way of putting it.
Then what would be the right way of putting it, Miss Wright?
Explain yourself. Heck, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so. You want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bus and dangled the bus out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and wait to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognise him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than ventriloquist and his puppet, Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant the bus hit the victim, I guess that works. You will just wait a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. Oh, on the contraire. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? The impact on the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with a cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. Do. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. You're telling us. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? Your Grace, this was a long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true?
Evidence?
In this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip.
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
No, Your Honour, you cannot. Like they say they want evidence. I just explained how that can only be a possible murder method. There's still something unusual on Moe's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay, then use and get out of this jam.
That's not talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright.
I know I just said, but I don't care. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unravelled the trick to this magic case.
Take that!
It's not a box, is it? Turns out it's not the box.
Take that!
Really? The problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Oh my god!
Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings.
Again, I can see why people don't like this case, because I hate this case now. I hate it. I hate this case now. Yesterday there were two contradictions in most testimony. The silk hat was one, so I thought this was the other. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. But the thing you just presented explains all these contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's.
Makes sense. Look it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of sorts.
I love this song, man.
Yeah.
Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed the white roses on Max's chest that night, but the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said there were no white roses. I'd like you to try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course, I explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? They would have been concealed. Do you get it yet? If the cloak snagged onto the front of the bust, it means the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust.
Order, order! This is quite a shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. And maybe one come will find further to tell. Well, okay, so much for that theory.
Mr. Wright, do you mind?
What is it?
You took your time. You took the time to research our circus, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think I didn't?
If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track.
Why is that?
Motive. The witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards our master. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this.
Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life until now. What do we do? Well, there's no doubt that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive.
It seems this case isn't yet over. Very well, however, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
To be continued. I think this is a good place to leave off for today, I think. But I know we still have another part of trial to go, but it's prolonging it out a little bit more. But hey, why not? Good place to leave off, I think. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help. Click the bell icon down below to be notified when I live stream or upload a video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!